Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And today we're going to do something just a little bit different. Instead of board games, we're going to go back and do some miniatures. What I've got here is the late war German Panzer Army box. So this is by Plastic Soldier Company. And I picked this up from an online store here in the States called the War Store. And the price on this was actually pretty good. That's why I went with this. The price at the time, I think it was just around 70 US dollars, somewhere in there, like between 65 70 US dollars, which I thought was actually a good deal because in the box there's actually quite a bit you get in here. So if you were looking to get into this is the 15mm box. So if you wanted to get into 15mm gaming or into kind of wargaming in general, this isn't a bad place to start. You know, you'd have to look in your areas, shop online for prices that work best for you in shipping. But this box, so there's the cover, is actually a pretty hefty box. And I'm just going to read the side real quick before we open it and show you what it looks like. So it comes with 6 Panzer IVs. Now, if you play the Battle Group rule sets like Battle Group Kursk, that series by Plastic Soldier Company, a lot of their platoons for vehicles are like 3. So with 6 Panzer IVs, you could buy like 2 platoons or make a strong single platoon. Then it's got 4 Panthers, 4 half tracks, 2 Tiger Ones. I kind of wish it had a 3rd Tiger One, but luckily I've got a couple extra Tiger Ones floating around. So again, you could build that 3 tank platoon that the game uses. And then it's got 47 Panzer Grenadiers. So it comes with infantry as well. So it says here you can make 3 LMG teams, command with Panzerfaust, Panzer Schrecks, and then some mixed base sprues, so in case you want to mount them on bases. I was thinking with this kit I might go individually basing the infantry, just so different games that I have that use, you know, single bases. So like I thought this might be great. You could play bolt action, you could play the Battle Group Kursk games, which those are both individually mounted. Also you could get into like Chain of Command from Two Fat Lardies, that's individual basings. And then I was thinking about trying their I Ain't Been Shot Mum, and you know, this gives you a great starter German that you can play all kinds of rule sets with just this box. That's why I got this. I wish Plastic Soldier had sent this for free, so just to throw it out there, yeah, this was purchased with my Christmas money. Haha, so I thought I would share in the excitement. I pre-cut the little tabs that hold it close, but this is the first time I've opened the box. And already we're seeing tank sprues. Now this is interesting because a friend of mine for Christmas, they sent me a Flames of War kit, a Panzer Grenadier platoon unit. And so this is actually the half track from the Battlefront, Flames of War. And so, you know, on the sprue it's going to be hard to compare sizes and things like that, but it'll be interesting to see how the two companies went about approaching, you know, the same vehicle and how they construct and whatnot. So I'm pretty excited that I'm going to have quite a few half tracks. So I've also got some Panzer Grenadiers already based up. I put those on the multi-man base for like Flames of War. Yeah, so I don't know if I can rebase those individually, but anyway, that's why I recognize this right away. So here's one of the half tracks. Plus the way they have theirs set up is so you got your half track body here. Looks like they have a couple of extra things like some fuel tanks, and I didn't see that with my Flames of War kit. Flames of War kit didn't come with any fuel tank. Usually the Flames of War kits come with a lot of extras. Like here's like a backpack, some rifles, a couple of people that you can put inside. The Flames of War one came with one driver. Looks like this has got 2 crew people you could set up in the seats and a couple people you could put sitting in the back. The Flames of War one came with 1 driver and then a couple people you could sit in the back. But this one already looks like it's got more assembly options for you, which is fine. Okay, so there you go. That's a few. So we'll just kind of set that aside there. I was probably looking at stuff and not showing it to you. But there's another one. There's number 5. Well, number 2 of 5. Number 3. You know, once I take this out, I'll be able to get it back in the box proper. So what I said, oh, I thought there was 5. Okay, so 4. I already forgot what I read you. So there's 4 half-track sprues that I see right there. This should be the Panzer IV. I'm looking to see if it's actually labeled on the plastic. But yeah, that's probably the Panzer IVs. I didn't look yet to see the instructions. Usually with Plastic Soldier Company, you can either build, like with the Panzer IV, it was either like the G or the H model. And so I'm looking here, it's got your shirts in, so you can make the H models if you want. There's also, I'm trying to see if I can find it here, this like additional, that's probably hard to see on camera, but this little bit goes on the side, left-hand side of the vehicle, and I'm not quite sure exactly what that is, but that was something else that the H model had. So this looks like you can build the G or the H, and it's got all the appropriate little extra pieces. The tracks, not to go too in depth on exactly how to put these together, but I remember I did build some 4s before, and these tracks, some of the vehicles, like with Battlefront, your tracks are just all one solid piece, so it includes not only the running wheel section, but then the track is already baked on. Here the tracks you got to cut separately, but the difference, this is what I like about the Plastic Soldier Company tracks. You got to be careful on how you assemble them, because if you don't quite line them up right, you get some gaps where the tracks meet up. But if you get everything put on there well, what's nice is the sprue connections are on the ends of the track, whereas when you do Flames of War, a lot of times their connection points are like right in the middle of the track. So you got to try and carve out all that extra plastic from between the tracks. So Plastic Soldier Company does a little bit better job on the track. So yes, they're a little more involved in putting together, but I think ultimately they look a little bit better. So anyway, that's, what did we say, 4 of these, 5 of these? So let me pull out how many sprues we got. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thought I said 6, right? Yep. Okay, so we've got 4 half tracks, 6 sprues for Panzer IVs, either building your G or your H models. Here's the bases. You know, if you were going to go with basing, well, we'll have to see. I'm not sure if that's exactly enough to base your 47 Grenadiers, depending on what you're trying to set up. So it's a little disappointing that there's only one sprue of these. I think I would have liked more, but this gives you an idea on if you want to do it. The thing I like about the Flames of War sprues that they're doing now, as far as the bases, is actually got like holes, and then your men are designed to sit down into the hole, so it gives you an idea of where you should place them. I know some people don't like that because it does make it a little more difficult to create exactly a scene that you want, and that's how I see the bases. A lot of times if I'm playing, I like individually mounted items, and the base is more if you're trying to put together a scene, like for cannons and anti-tank guns and stuff like that. Kind of a nice static scenery piece that you can game with. So, you know, but it does include at least one sprue of some bases. Gives you an idea if you want to play with that or not. And then I'm grabbing here from the side, since it's hard to see over the lip of this box. Here's my Grenadiers. So far, that's, let's see, we got a Panzer Schreck, Panzer Faust, Schreck, Faust, or maybe I got them backwards. A couple of people, maybe leadership positions there with the arms outstretched. Yeah, some of these gun barrels are, well, at least that one's bent, so you have to be careful with that. Yeah, so that might be like command group. So it says, you know, Grenadiers, but okay, here we go. Here's some actual warrior soldiers. They got some rifles there. So that looks like four sprues of Grenadiers with guns, and then possibly your command group So altogether they said that should be about 47. I mean, that's enough to kind of get you an idea on soldiers if you want to play with them, and if you want to individually mount them. I think that's enough for you to actually do a platoon or two. If I remember right, in the battle group Kursk rules, a lot of times your squads are like 5 people, like Russians have out to 10. So you want to make sure you have a lot of Russians to make your squads. But I think Germans, a lot of times the squads say they're like 5 or 6 guys. So that might be plenty if you're playing the battle group rules. Even bolt action, sometimes the squads start out pretty small, like 5 people. So if you individually mount your soldiers there, you probably have plenty of soldiers to get you started. Now, I don't know what these go to. I just see some separate sprues here of tracks. And no indication of what those go to. I'll probably figure it out once I see the instruction booklet. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets of tracks. That's unknown origin there. So maybe those are alternate tracks for something. Well, it says it came with some panthers and a couple tigers, but I don't know why they would put the tracks separate. Alright, here comes the tiger. I could tell right away as soon as I was picking it up, you've got the pieces of the hull. And what's nice is, like I said, there should be an instructions in here. Oh, there it is, there at the bottom. It looks like I got a couple different turret options here for your tiger. And then a couple different, well, it looks like there's, again, with multiple pieces for putting together your road wheels and your tracks. So you had different options to pick. So if there's like the Henschel or Porsche versions, maybe early, late war. So this is interesting. So I put together the Battlefront Tiger 1. I have a couple of those for the tanks game, and this actually looks a lot more detailed, plus again some options to build variants of your Tiger. Once I have one of these built together, I might do a little video comparing the Plastic Soldier Tiger to the Battlefront Tiger, because this looks like, so what I'll say is sometimes I get the feeling in the past Battlefront had a lot more detail on their tanks, but just in this box from Plastic Soldier Company, I'm seeing they've got a lot of detail on the body, on the hull, plus with variant turret options. I'm almost saying you probably have some more options with Plastic Soldier Company here, which is not bad at all. Alright, but anyway, we'll set that aside. So that's two tigers, and then right below that you've got your panthers, and then it should be 4, yeah, it's 4 panthers. And once again, I've got, well, let's see. I mean, I see 2 holes. I'm just looking. So it looks like you can do A model, G model. So you got like there's the whole base, but then you got 2 turret tops, and already I can see there's one here where one of the vent intakes got a cowl on it, and one doesn't. So once again, I'm seeing some options with the Battlefront Panther. Now, if you bought, I'll have to be fair in saying that the Panther model I bought from Battlefront was specifically for the tanks game, and you could build either the Yag Panther or a Panther. And so this is just giving me a Panther, but variants of the Panther. Now, if you really wanted, you know, you could put a bunch of magnets, so you could swap out the tops. You know, like, oh, I want the A model today, I'll do the G model later, or whatever. But I don't think I'll go. I think I'll just pick the one I think that looks great, and then, you know, you can swap them out. But then it's got different siding for the road wheels here on the side for the tracks. Yeah, so again, it's nice to see a lot of options, so you could pick specifically which model that you want to build, and which is beyond what I had with Battlefront. But like I said, the difference there, Battlefront gave me the option for a Yag Panther or Panther. Okay, so there's my 4 Panthers, and then here's, oh, just grab this real quick, a sheet of decals. Bam. So we got German flags, a lot of individual vehicle numbers. Alright, and then just real quick. Yeah, so here's your Panzer IV instruction sheets. And this is something I liked about Plastic Soldier Company with their instructions. So it'll tell you, you know, the green pieces will go with the H, or you can build your G model, your F1. And just trying to get a good picture here. Right, so yeah, if you want to build like the F model, then it's going to say, you know, red, and then here's your color-coded pieces that you put on it, or earlier mid-war versions. And I tell you, that's really, really nice. You know, not making this this company versus that company, but this definitely, I think, are some of the best assembly instructions I've seen. And I've built stuff from Zvezda and Battlefront recently. I've also done full model kit companies like Armor Fast and Pegasus, and I have to admit that I still think the Plastic Soldier Company instructions are some of the best. So you got nice, good, blown up pictures of how things should go, and then of course, like I said, you get your color codes so you know exactly which model you're building. So anyway, there's the Panzer IV pictures. Here's the Tiger, and so once again, you know, it's got the instructions. You can build your early production, your mid-war, and then the late production, which then tells you exactly like which road wheels. So the difference between mid and late as far as the model goes then is your road wheels that you would put on the side. So I just think that's fantastic. You know, sadly, you got to pick one to build. They're not interchangeable after it's stuck together, but you know, that's what proxy is for, right? To say, hey, I'm going to pretend that's my early war Tiger. And then again, you got nice assembly instructions. I'm looking at that off the camera for just a second. Yeah, good stuff. I just love what they do. All right, and then we have the half track. Oh, wow. Okay, well with the half track, well, I guess they don't have too many variants, so you get a half track. So there's your pieces that go on, and then, you know, this is the late war variant. I've kind of recently learned about these because this has the full stowage rack. The early war variants, like the A, B, and C, you had some stowage racks, but they didn't go across the entire body like they do this. So this is the D version, or later. All right, so that's that. Now I will say, since I was comparing Flames of War, though, with their half track, they did have a couple, well, they had at least, instead of a machine gun, they did have like a Pioneer version. So it had a bigger gun, and then it had the tracks, bridge sections that you could put onto the half track. So that does have a little more versatility than what comes in this box. But Plastic Soldier Company does make a half track variant box, and I think they also make, yeah, they make like the half track box, and then have like a whole box dedicated to the different mods and types of half tracks. So that if you're into half tracks, you might want to give them a look. And then finally, here is the Panther instructions. Once again, looks like it's got my early war color codes, then your mid production, and then finally the G version, and again all color coded depending on what you're trying to build. So excellent job there, and then again a really good assembly instructions for how you want to stick this thing together. Nice. Oh, it even has separate the smoke dischargers, so the dischargers kind of stuck together, and they want you to cut them apart a little bit. Okay, great. Nothing will go wrong there when I try it, that's for sure. Fantastic. Okay, so there's your assembly instructions for the Panther, assembly instruction for the half track, assembly instruction for your Tiger, assembly instructions for your Panzer IV. Here are the 4 Panthers, 4 Panther tanks. Hello, Panthers. Here are your 2 Tiger 1s. Here are the 6 Panzer IVs. I'm going to put these, I think they go this way. Told you this would be a challenge for me to get them back in the box. Here are your 4 half tracks, though. right there. Oh, I forgot the counters or the decals. Then you had your, that came a little bit earlier, but you've got your bases. Then I still don't know. I will figure it out. But yeah, I've got a whole bunch of tank tracks. There's, how many of these are there? There's 6 of these. So I'm guessing these are Panzer IV variants. Since there's 6 Panzer IVs, I guess those are Panzer IV variants. Those fit right here at the top of the box. And then your sprues of some Panzer Grenadiers. And again, I think if you can find a price that you like, you'll be very hard pressed to find a box set that gives you as much. Because, you know, you figure a lot of model kits, if you're buying just one tank, or even if you buy a pack of like 4 tanks, you're looking at, you know, $45 to $50 if you buy like 5. Let's just say you buy a pack of 5, and that's $45 to $50. So you're looking at close to $8 to $10 per vehicle. Well, this box here, you're getting quite a few vehicles. So if you're, say, let's say this was $70 and this has 16 vehicles, that is significantly bringing down the cost per vehicle that you're getting. And then plus, you know, you add in some infantry. So I think that's a great deal. And that would give you a good starter set for Germany, if that's your thing. Alright, so there's my thoughts and opinions on that, and that's what's in the box. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we will talk to you next time.